What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yo, yo, yo.
What's up, you guys? Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
Hump Day Wednesday.
Hump Day Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. For those of you that are new to the channel, those of you who are new to REI Decoded, welcome. My name is Ashley Denmark.
My name is Antonio Denmark.
We are your hosts. We are your coaches. We are here to help you when it comes to getting off the sideline in the forms of real estate, of investing in real estate, and getting into the game. All right. We don't want you spinning your wheels. We have enough scars on our back for the both of us that you don't have to learn and make those same mistakes. In fact, today we're going to talk about some mistakes that we know that rookies make as they are getting started investing in real estate, some mistakes that we have made getting started investing in real estate. All right. So if you are watching us live, make sure you put hashtag live in the chat. If you are watching us on replay, put hashtag replay in the chat, and then stay to the end. We're going to give you our bonus for how to alleviate those newbie mistakes as much as possible. Our best way of alleviating those newbie mistakes. All right.
I'm going to say it a better way.
Okay. Hit me.
At the end, the bonus is going to lower your percentages of failure.
Bingo.
Right? So, like, the thing about real estate is hard. Real estate is not easy. Don't let nobody trick you. Don't let nobody fool you. Real estate is not easy. Now, there's a system to real estate. Mm-hmm. There's a process to real estate. And if you learn those things, it's doable. But understand that it's hard. Right. One thing I want to say is when we say rookies, we're not just saying people who haven't done a deal. In my estimation, between 1 and 5 deals, you're still a rookie.
Yeah, and I like to say 1 in 10 because on every deal, you're going to learn something new, something outside of the blue is going to come up just because it's real estate. Things aren't the same. All right.
And you get better every time you do it. Like there are things you're going to learn on your first one that you're going to do better in your second. Things you're going to learn in your second, you're going to do better in your third. So it's just an ongoing thing.
Yeah. One of the things we like to encourage people to do is don't chase the money when it comes to real estate. Chase the skills and the money will follow. All right. Chase the skill set, chase mastering the skill set, because that is what's going to take you to the next level. All right. So as y'all are in the chat, as y'all are coming in, make sure you tell me who's all in the chat so that way we know. And then today, I want you guys to be interactive. If this is something that you have experienced, we want you to tell us about it. If this is something you're looking into getting started and you got some questions, some fears, tell us. Let's help you get over that. All right. You ready, Sonia?
Let's go.
I'm going to turn down my volume real quick and hopefully it doesn't still. Oh, perfect. All right. Let's do it. Sonia, what do you feel like is give me one way that rookies fail when it comes to getting started, when it comes to investing in real estate, not even getting started, when it comes to investing?
We picked 5, but it's a lot of them.
Right.
Where I would probably want to start is analyzing deals. A lot of newer investors don't truly understand how to analyze deals. And they rely on their agent to give them that estimated ARV. And that estimated ARV is the after repair value.
Yeah. How much is that house going to be worth once it's all fixed up, once it's all pretty? That's what ARV really means. And just to piggyback on Antonio, I feel like they don't just rely on their agents sometimes. They rely on their emotions. They rely on their feelings because they feel like since the house not too far away sold for this price, then surely my house will be worth that and beyond. But many times newbies don't consider, okay, was it really in a 0.5 mile radius? Was it in the last 6 months? Or did that house sell 2 years ago for that price? Is that house the same square feet? Or is that house completely off when it comes to the square feet? Meaning The house that you're thinking about purchasing and rehabbing, maybe it's 1,300 square feet compared to another house that sold with 2,000 square feet. Those aren't apples to apples or oranges to oranges, no matter how close they are to each other.
In proximity.
In proximity, right.
The other thing about the comps is a lot of newer people, they don't want to invest in good software so that they can find the best comps.
Mm-hmm.
And when we say comps, we're talking about comparables. That's what we use to create the ARV.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to invest in those things. And they are relying on realtor.com, Zillow, Redfin to find the good comparables. But I am telling you, do not rely on those things, man. Invest a little change into finding you some good comparables, a system that's going to give you some good comps so that you can choose, so that you can create the best value for that property, the best estimated value.
Absolutely. And I think along with analyzing the deals, estimating the amount of rehab, how much is it going to cost to renovate, and knowing that to back into your comps to even get to what your offer should look like. Like if you don't know how much the rehab is going to cost, then you don't really know if you're buying it for a right price, which means you don't even know if you got a deal on your hands. All right. Prime example, a house could be worth $200,000, right? And the seller wants to sell it for $100,000, but it needs $85,000 in repairs. That's not a good price. All right, you can't buy it at $100,000. No matter if you feel like you have $100,000 spread, but you really don't have $100,000 spread because 85 of it is going to the rehab, which means you have a $15,000 spread, and that 15,000 has to account for your closing costs, your interest payments, your holding costs for water, power, gas, maintenance. Like all of that has to be a part of it, along with your interest. Like if you use hard money, if you use a private money, at that point you don't have any room to make money in the deal. And I see that happen a lot where it's just not a deal. That analyzing process and understanding if the numbers work is just not there. And that kills so many rookies. Can I call them rookies?
Yes, before you go too far though. So I would say this is estimating rehabs B, because that was A. But this would be B, is relying on your contractor to give you estimates.
Big one, yeah.
Anytime you rely on your contractor to give you estimates, you're going to be towards the higher end of that number. The thing about rehabs is the same house can be a $40,000 rehab or $80,000 rehab, just depending on what contractor's looking at it. So making sure that you start finding your contractors before you find your property is super, super important. Because if you're trying to find your contractors while you got your property under contract, it's too late.
It's too late, y'all.
It is too late. Like most times, you only get a 3 to 7 day inspection window. So if you're trying to find contractors to get out there and get estimates, it's too late. Now you got to have those contractors already in your Rolodex, ready to go. As soon as you get on the contract, boom, 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 boom.
Absolutely. And before we go to funding, let me say this. I'll come back. The next thing that hurts a lot of rookies is understanding the funding piece when it comes to investing in real estate. All right. Saving up that $100,000 or that $200,000, yes, you can absolutely save it and use all of your savings. Yeah, you can try and save it. Maybe pull from your 401k, maybe pull from your insurance. But let me say this: it is a lot easier to get hard money funding. It is a lot easier to get private lenders versus using all of your savings on one deal. What happens when you use, as a rookie, when you use all of your savings on one deal and it sits on the market longer than you anticipated, and you got more water bills, more power bills, an inspection comes because someone puts it under contract, And now they're like, you know what? We want this, this, and this, and this fixed. And that's an extra $5,000 that you may not have because you have put all of your money into the project and you can't do another deal. You can't do anything else until that project sells. All right.
To add to what Ashley saying, and we made this mistake on our first deal.
On our first flip.
On our first flip was when we got funding. All right, we didn't get purchase and rehab money for the project. We only got money to buy the property, and our hard money lender asked us 3 or 4 times, "Are you sure you don't want the money to rehab this property?" No, we got this. We only gonna use the money to buy it, and then we gonna fund it. We had some cash, we had some credit cards, some personal cards. Man, that's totally not the way to do it. Right. Understand that this funding piece is important, and you got to structure this thing correctly, and you got to go to the right lenders that can help you. Like all hard money lenders are not created equal. Right. All right. Some lenders gonna want 20% down. Some lenders gonna want no money down. So it's all understanding funding before you just totally jump out there,
get a deal under contract, or think you have a deal under contract, think you have the funding piece because you want to use your own funding. It may not work out as you envision it. All right. Another thing that I would say is a lot of times we don't want to pay interest. Like we feel like paying interest payments. Why is the interest payment so high? Why do I have to pay interest? Why not pay interest? And I think we have to make sure we do a better job explaining this, that if I have to pay in total $5,000 in interest for the duration of the loan, but I'm going to make $50,000, is it worth paying $5,000 versus using all of my money, tying up all of my cash, all of my savings? How many more deals could I do if I kept my savings, and only if I had to use a portion of it, only use a portion of the savings and still have money for a rainy day? How many more deals can I do? How much better do I feel from for me, from an anxiety standpoint? How much better do I feel to know that I don't have all my eggs in one basket, and if anything happens, I'm screwed?
See, I had a thought. You just threw me off.
I threw you off.
Yes, you did.
Interest payments.
My.
Yeah, I helped Tony.
I lost. So we just move on.
Okay. All right. So we talked about analyzing deals is one rookie mistake that we see a lot of new investors fail at, not understanding how to analyze deal. Next was funding. The third way is building out their power team. All right. Understanding who needs to be on this power team before they get started. Now, let me say this.
We both going to say something.
Go. You're going to forget it like you forgot the last one.
Absolutely right. If you're watching this and you are just getting going, the best advice I can give you is to stop thinking like a investor who's trying to become a person who's trying to become an investor.
Okay.
What I need you to do is start saying, I am a real estate investor. All right. And when I am a real estate investor, there are certain aspects that I have to have in place before I move forward. Being a part of your power team is, what closing attorney are you going to use? What hard money lender are you going to use? What real estate agent are you going to use? What contractor are you going to use? What inspection company are you going to use? What company are you going to use for the septic tank? Like all of those things needs to be outlined before you start just buying off offers crazy. Now, can you build them as you go along? Yes. But it is super important to have them people in place before you go get a property under contract.
Go. Before you get a property under contract.
Yes.
But let me say this. You don't have to have every piece of the puzzle, all right? But you need to have the key ones that Antonio talked about. You need to at least have a realtor. You need to at least have, you don't have to have a closing attorney, because whoever you're brokering with, they may know whoever you're doing your hard money with, they should know some closing attorneys in your area. If you're getting it from your realtor, you're getting it from a wholesaler, they can be able to help you with that part where you're doing it. You're going to investor friendly closing attorneys. If you have one, better. But if you don't, it's not something to absolutely stress about. All right. But making sure you have your contractors, making sure you have your lender, making sure you got your realtor, because you're going to get multiple wholesalers. But making sure you have those three, I think, are the absolute most important.
Yes, and a lot of times I've seen people lose their earnest money because they get a property under contract and they don't have a inspector to call to come even inspect the property. So that inspector don't know them. They just putting them in wherever they fit in, and you can lose your earnest money because if you don't do what you got to do in that period of time, that's your fault. All right. When it comes to lending, a lot of times we want to, yes, hard money lending can close in 14 to 21 days. But that's what you got experience. That's if you got everything lined up. You can't get the property in the contract. You're going to say, I'm going to go shop for a week for hard money lenders. It don't work like that.
No.
Like you got to have these things ready to go.
Absolutely. Because once your docs are in is when that funding process really starts. If you put in your application, but you don't have your scope because you're still meeting contractors, well, that process can't start until you get in the scope, or you don't have your operating agreement signed.
You too high level when you say scope.
It does. Okay, so with scope, that is the listed things that you're gonna do to enhance the property to get it to its value. So, are you gonna paint the exterior? You're gonna paint the interior? Are you gonna open up the floor plan? Are you going to tile the bathrooms? Are you going to add hardwood floors? Those are the line item breakdowns that tells the lender, it tells the appraiser what type of enhancements are going to be made on the property so that they can tell you what that estimated value will be once you finish your rehab. All right.
Yes. Power team is important, y'all. Start getting your mind right and doing them things now.
All right, so we talked about analyzing deals. We talked about funding. We talked about the power team. Next is your contractors. All right, we were literally at a conference this week, Monday and Tuesday of this week, and one of our good friends. It was so good hearing her say this. She invests in apartments. That's her niche. That's what she does. And one of the things that she talked about when it comes to her analyzing deals, knowing their numbers and what they're going to do whenever they buy a new apartment, is not over improving the apartments based on the areas. So she's not going to buy an apartment in a C-class area and give it A-class finishes, no matter how much she feels like, oh, this will make it look better, it'll make it feel better. It's not going to increase the value that much where it's worth to pay the difference. All right. Same thing with single family. If you over improve an area, that does not mean that your after repair value is going to exceed by the dollars that you over improved it. It just doesn't work like that. Why? I don't know. But since it doesn't, let's not over improve because it just doesn't work like that. So let's talk about what's the over improve, Antonio. And I'm going to give an example, and I want you to give an example of an over improve. All right. So an over improve, let's say all the houses in your area are selling with LVP flooring. All right. But you really, really like hardwoods and you just want to take out the flooring and put brand new hardwoods throughout. All right. Yes, brand new hardwoods are absolutely amazing. The buyer is going to love to have brand new hardwoods, at least we hope. However, that appraiser is not going to give you the price difference that it costs you from a material and a labor standpoint when it comes to increasing your after repair value for that house. All right. It's not going to bump it up. That's over improving. If it's selling with LVP, then you make sure you put LVP in it because it's just not a big difference.
An area that I see over improved is bathrooms. If your house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and the other house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but you want to add a 3rd bath, Like, there's no need to add a third bathroom if all the properties in the area are selling as 3.2s.
Mhm.
Like, don't over improve it to where you think that it's going to bring so much more value. It's not, y'all.
It's not. I promise you, it's not.
Being present at your rehabs is a huge mistake I see newbies make. When I say being present, I mean putting your feet on your property every day. Every day, if you got a rehab going on, put your feet on your property. At worst, every other day.
Mhm.
But I'm telling you, if you don't go to that property, your contractors are going to slack. There's going to be miscommunication. Things are going to get done that you do not approve of.
Yeah, a lot can happen in 8 hours worth of work on any project. All right, a lot can happen. How do I know? A lot has happened on dates that we don't show up, where it's like, well, I thought I didn't have to do this. And then we so deep in it where it's like, well, you know what? You can't do it now because I can't pay for you to pick up all this tile. I can't pay for you to redo this flooring because you've already put it all down. All right. So yes, being present is important. And if you can't be present, then you need to have someone on your team that can be present. All right. And that's a part of building that power team. If you are investing out of state, then you need to have somebody on your power team that can be boots on the ground and give you live updates of your project, of your property, because otherwise it's not going to turn out the way you anticipated it.
All right. So the last thing when it comes to rehab contractors is this is probably, I don't want to say the biggest because all of them are big and all of them are important.
Just say it's important. It's important.
Doing a project without a contract in place. Like, man, if you ever want to ask for problems, start a project with a contractor without a contract in place. You're going to catch all types of
whammies.
Good one, Ashley. You're going to catch all type of whammies. Like, in that contract, it needs to outline start date, end date. It needs to outline payment schedule. It needs to outline when they're getting paid. It needs to outline exactly what they're doing in this contract.
Mm-hmm. Do you require an invoice before they get paid? How many days from when they submit their invoice do they get paid? Do they get paid 30 minutes after they submit their invoice, or do they get paid 48 hours? Do they get paid after you view it? Like, what are those checkpoints? Because we get into projects, we don't do the contract, we shake hands. We say, this is my friend, this is a family friend. He's been working with us for such a long time. And this family friend is slow because we didn't put how long it takes in our contract. We didn't even have that conversation. So now a project that was supposed to take 3 months is now taking 9 months to do because he works on it. Antonio may work on it on the weekends or after work if he feel good that day.
And I am laughing, but you got to understand me. When I'm laughing, I'm not really laughing. I'm laughing because these are real life situations.
These are real scars that have
we've
happened.
Been through, or our students have been through, where it's like, man, it's a year later, we still on this project. But a lot of times it's because that contract was not detailed in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. So making sure, yes, I was flipping. So make sure that contract is in place. Make sure you're detailed. Make sure you go over what that scope, what those line items are going to be as far as improvements with the contractors. And then you also need it for your lender. All right. The next thing we got
analyzing
deals. Funding, power team, contractors. Number 5, y'all. Number 5. Such a big, this can cause you anxiety. All right. If you are not good with numbers, this can really cause anxiety, all right? Because one day you may have 90,000 in your account, and the next day you may have 10, and you may feel like the world is about to end, all right? Literally, I'm serious. It is so important to track your expenses. You don't have to pay for a bunch of fancy softwares, but if you need a software, we got a software for you, all right? But it needs to be something, all right? Don't put it all into your normal business account. You should have an account that is specifically for the project that you are working on, all right? Many times we add them into our regular accounts, either our personal accounts or our business accounts. And then all of a sudden, we don't know where this money is because contractors have gone to the store, because you have gone to the store and you have swiped, and nobody's tracking the expenses. And before you know it, you've spent more than what your scope told you that you should have spent. Before you know it, you have taken too many meals, personal meals on it, and you don't have any more money left in this project, and you're scrambling at the end, or you've overpaid on every line item in your budget because you didn't track it, you didn't adjust, you didn't pivot because you didn't know. All right. So tracking expenses, save the anxiety. All right. Track your expenses. Look at it 2 to 3 times a week if you can while you're in the middle of a project, and then adjust. If I put on a scope of work that my roof was going to be $10,000 and I spent $13,000, I gotta account for that $3,000 somewhere. All right, it ain't just gonna rain out the sky. I have to account for it.
And when she say account, that's either I'm going to pull it from my contingency.
Mm-hmm.
It's either I'm going to pull it off of a line item from somewhere else. We might not do that line item, or I know that I'm gonna have to fund that from a outside source, whether that's my bank account or a credit card for that $3,000. Mm-hmm. But if you're not on top of your expenses, you can't make decisions.
You can't make decisions.
Like you can't just go through the project making decisions based on what it started out. Mm-hmm. As your budget moves, because your budget is fluid, it is always moving. That's when you make decisions, not just based on what it was supposed to be in the beginning. Because what it was supposed to be in the beginning is not the same thing as what it is 6 months into the project.
And let me say this, and don't have a panic attack if your budget is adjusting throughout this project, all right? Throughout your projects. You have an estimate on the front end, all right? When you're doing it, that estimate, you may go under, you may go over, but that's why it's important to track it so that you can stay within it, all right? Your scope of work is going to change like water while you're in the middle of your project. Like Antonio said, that $3,000 that I talked about on the roof, you got to pull it from somewhere. So maybe you can't add a double vanity in the bathroom. Maybe you can't add a third bathroom. Maybe it's only a second bathroom at this point. Maybe we got to take that piping out, and electrical, maybe that just got to be a closet all of a sudden. We're going to have to close that up.
Maybe you can't do new cabinets. You got to refurbish the cabinets you got.
Maybe you can't do landscaping because you wanted to make this fancy landscape, and maybe you just got to cut the grass, start watering that grass, and putting some pine straw or some mulch down. All right. But all of these things can be adjusted. All of these things don't make or break your deal. All right. So just identifying it, making those adjustments, and being quick to adjust.
I'm going to move on, but you can finish. You got to go.
Just being quick to adjust. All right. Don't wait till the last minute, because that's how rookies fail. All right. They don't know. It's on every card, they don't even know what account it came out of. It done came out of personal account. It done came out of hubby account, wifey account, daughter account, whatever card we have right now. No. One account.
I'm going to put some numbers on it because I'm a numbers type of guy.
Okay.
When you start out in your first project, you're at almost a 99% chance to fail. All right. If you do these 5 things, just these 5 things here, you at least at a 50-50 chance to succeed or fail. Just being totally honest with you. You at least got a fighting chance. The more you don't do these things, the higher your chances of failing go. Mm-hmm. Point blank period. Mm-hmm. All right. This bonus that we got, if you do this bonus to where you was at 50%, now you're down to about a 25 to 30% chance of fail. Mm-hmm. All right. If there's still a chance to fail, yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. But if you do this bonus that we're talking about, that truly is about a 25% chance that you will not fail. All right.
And that bonus is partnering with someone that has experience. Now, let me say this. Experience does not mean they've done 5 to 6 deals. Okay. That's not experience. Like you want someone that has really had some experience up under their belt. They've done 10, 20, 30 deals because that shortens your learning curve. That shortens the amount of I'm not sure, I've never been through this before. And that shortens your chances of failing. All right. You don't need two people in a project that haven't done enough deals to be able to think through situations and get past those obstacles and those hurdles. When you are in the middle of a project, a fix and flip, a rehab, there's literally about 500 decisions that you're going to have to make. And those decisions are going to need to be made swiftly. They're going to need to be thought out, all by making them fast. All right. It's going to need to be some well thought out decisions quick. All right. Because if you waste time, your contractors are going to leave you. All right. If you waste time, you're going to have another interest payment roll in. If you waste time, maybe the store is going to sell out of that material that you were dying to get. Now you got to pick something else that costs more. All right. That is so important.
We get asked the question a lot. If I'm just starting, what advice would you give me? This would be our advice. When you're doing your first deal, you got two options. Either you're going to partner with somebody that has experience, or you're going to get a mentor. Mm-hmm. Those are your only two options. Mm-hmm. That's it. There is no other option if you want to be successful on your first project. And again, I'm not telling you you're 100% successful if you do the things. But I'm telling you that if you do not get a partner that has experience, or you do not get a mentor that can help you, you're gonna have problems.
You're into something that can really be tough to get out of. All right.
And I'm gonna say this real quick when it comes to the mentor part. Understand you're gonna pay for it one way or the other. You're gonna pay for it up front to your mentor, or you're gonna pay for it during that project.
Mm-hmm. Going over budget, miscalculating things, not understanding, spending too much on the financing. It's just gonna happen.
Yeah. Like, and I can tell you, there's been multiple times that someone has came and talked to us and said, "I did this by myself,
and I'm
$100,000
in the hole
because I didn't want to pay for a mentor and I didn't want to partner with somebody I thought I knew it all."
Yeah, but the truth is, go ahead.
I'm not talking just one person, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking multiple times. People have came and said they're $100,000 in the hole dealing with real estate.
Mm-hmm. And let me say this: you don't know the answers to the questions that are going to come up.
You didn't say that.
You don't know the questions that are going to come up, mm-hmm. and you surely don't know.
Let me say it. You don't know what you don't know.
Well, yeah, same thing. But
now you can say what
you don't know those questions that are going to come up because you haven't been in this situation before. You haven't had to deal with permitting. You haven't had to deal with, there's certain municipalities got different permit requirements. There are certain things that when you're having a contractor talk, you may think that they mean one thing, but that means totally different. And you got to pay extra for that thing that you're trying to get them to do, but you had no clue. All right. You do not know what you don't know.
And I'm going to tell you right now, contractors can smell it. They can smell the newness on you.
It's just like going to high school.
They can smell
fresh meat. High school and college. Yeah, it's that fresh
meat. Y'all know how it is.
Yeah.
And listen to me. They ain't taking it easy on you. They ain't got feelings like that. They are going to take full advantage of your not knowing.
You don't understand what change orders are until you get them. And your expectations were one thing, but they're not what was perceived. So it is important to not look at your TV and say, oh, well, if HGTV did it in 24 hours, 48 hours, I could do this in a week. That's not real, y'all. Our first flip, we just knew because we had experience. We knew that after having 12 rental properties that this first flip was going to be nothing because we've mastered the rehab. We've mastered that game. That's what we thought. We bought funding was wrong. Now the analyzing the deal part was right.
We got that part right.
We got that part right. In fact, we may have been a little too right on it. That was right. And it saved us. The funding part was wrong because we wanted to just get the purchase and use our personal credit cards for the rehab. That was a bust. The third one was contractors. We thought that we could use our contractors from our rentals, that we could use that for our flips. But what we didn't realize was they didn't have the right license, insurance. They didn't even know what the heck they should do because that was a lower end style of contractors. All right. We also didn't know we over improved. We got all our personal feelings wrapped up into our first flip, only to see 3 months later that the person who bought it was selling the items on Marketplace. I kid you not. So yes, you feel like they want that accent wall, they don't. You feel like they gotta have this certain type of flooring or you gotta have a foyer, they don't. All right. Don't over improve the area. Look at what's selling in the area and make yours match it. All right.
Let's go. We have a AI summit coming up. It's a virtual AI summit. It's absolutely free, man. Y'all sign up. Make sure you get in the room. We are building a AI app that's going to help you with a lot of these mistakes. It's going to help you when it comes to getting your contracts aligned. It's going to help you when it comes to making your offers quickly. It's going to help you when it comes to analyzing deals. So like this AI app that we're building is going to be absolutely amazing. So make sure you register for the AI summit so we can kind of present that to you. We're going to talk about funding. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of different stuff, but make sure you're in the room, register. I will always advise you to get the VIP so that you can get the replays of it, because a lot of times when we're talking
and we're doing
it don't necessarily click a lot of times.
Yeah,
like it takes multiple times of watching it so that you can understand
and implement it. We want you to be able to understand it. We want you to be able to implement it so that real estate investing becomes easier to you, so that you're able to do it faster, more precise, and you're able to get the job done. All right. So no longer are the days where you're going to have to meet 5, 6, 7 contractors to get this scope of work. No, with the software that we have built, with our technology, with our experiences that we've loaded into this, you're going to be able to do it in seconds. All right. You're going to be able to get your information off to the lender in seconds. You're going to be able to control your rehab and your budget in seconds. All right.
Yes, I had something.
You look like you did.
Oh yeah. You said implement. That's another thing where the replay come in. When you're implementing these things, you can always go back to the replay and watch. Okay, exactly how they did that.
What was the word
what was the,
that
what
they
was
used?
The,
what was that phrase that they used that triggered that? Am I missing anything from my phrase so that I could be able to do it? And then the third day is the VIP day. And that's going to be with Antonio and myself, a good friend that we have that's going to be coming in. We're going to be focused on rehabs that day. We're going to be focused on property, but we're also going to be focused on you, where you are, and pushing you to get to that next level. All right. Anything else I missed?
No, man.
So sign up. It is go to the denmarks.us/summit. The denmarks.us/summit. Grab your free ticket. Grab your VIP ticket if you're serious. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see you guys. All right.
Let's go.
All right. Like always, have an amazing, amazing day, you guys.
Peace.